going to understand what is the SharePoint object model hierarchy. So I have opened one diagram here. In this diagram, if you can see, there is some hierarchy maintained here. First, there is a site collection, then top level, website, subsite. So in our case here, we have site collection. Initially the site we create, again we create subsites. In that there are multiple. This site collection, this entire site collection is represented like this in this square box. Means this is a site collection, means collection of a sites. Okay, so this is a site collection, it contains many subsites, and this is the top level site. This is the top level site. Okay, so whenever we are working in the coding part, so always keep in mind that whenever we are working with the consider we with the PowerShell or SPFX, initially client side object model, initially we create the context while working with the CSOM. Then so first of all, whenever we are working, we create the context in a CSOM. Okay, then we validate that context with the credential. After that, what we do, we create the web object by passing the site URL. Okay, and after web object, what we do, if here I just should tell you, I want to update any list atom, so how I will go with the hierarchical manner. First I create the context means I establish the connection with the SharePoint. Okay, and through that context, then using that context, I will create the web object. We have created this context. With consider this is subsite or any site. This web URL. Okay, we have created this context with this site URL. Okay. After that, using that, I will create the web object. Okay. So after that web, I want to create some operation on a list. So I create the list object. Okay, and after that I want to update the list atom, then I will go into the list atom. So you can see this is the hierarchy through which I need to drill down and implement the things. If again I want to perform some operation in a list, now here I have written the list atom, but ideally it will be the list atoms. Okay, means maybe there are multiple list atoms. Within that I want to perform operation on a single list. Then what I'll say here list atom. Okay, and like this way we drill down. So first context, then web, then list atoms, and list item. Okay, so this is the hierarchy where we maintain. Okay, so here you can see, if you want to do some operation on a field, you want to check the field column name or like that. So you are here in a list. Again you will go into the list, then fields. Okay, then fields, right? Because fields are related part of the list. Okay, so you can directly go. So always keep in mind that we maintain the hierarchy whenever you are working with the SharePoint. You need to go with the hierarchy. You cannot directly access the list item. It's not possible. You need to go step by step, and then only you can read the list item. Let's see the example, simple example here. I'll go and show you one example. Consider here simple. I will go with the one simple example. Update list item using a PowerShell. Okay, so here what they are doing here, I just explain you code here and then we'll go down. So here they connect load these operations performed by the CSOM object model. Then this is the site URL. Then this is the list name we pass. Then credentials we pass. Then after credentials we connect to our server here. Okay, this is SharePoint Online, and establish the create the credential object. Then we pass the credential object to our context. Okay, so here you can see here the context. We create the context as I have explained you earlier. We create the context. Using that context, we validate that context. Then we create the web object. then we go into the list, and then we create the list object, and then we create the list item object, and we update our list item. Okay, and then context dot execute query. You know why this context dot execute query is here. Okay, so this is the place where we means here I drill down one by one. First I go create contact, then web, then list, then site list item. So these are the stages through which I drill down. Okay, so this is the process. So I just copy this code and explain. Okay, so I'll go here. Okay, so I'll just paste here, and let me increase the size for font. Okay, so here what I'm doing now, I just put my site URL and all. Sorry, this is my site. Let me enter the pass the credentials quickly. Okay, so here, okay, consider I'm in the employee list now. Here is the employee list having ID 9. So I just copy this URL here. Okay, I'll go here and put my site URL here. Okay, so my list name is employee list. So internal name is different, display name is 2i. Okay, we manage the things. So here again I directly pass the parameters, inline, credentials, and here. Okay, and okay, so I pass it, and Microsoft.SharePoint client.credentials, all the library references are loaded here. So these methods and everything are defined here, whatever the objects or methods you are calling. So after that, here first stage we creating the we are interacting with the SharePoint online here. So initially while working with the CSOM object model, you need to create the context. Okay, so while creating the context, what I say, Microsoft.SharePoint.client context, and I pass the site URL. This is my site URL. Then credentials, this I pass here to the credentials to validate my context. So here list context.web dot, here what I do, I just put enter here, and I say this variable, I just rename this variable, say web. Okay, I rename it to the web, and I enter from here. Okay, see, and now I say dollar list equal to dollar web. Okay, so see, so now here what I did, so I just say web here. Okay, so here I have extracted the web variable. Okay, using this context, and you know the URL. So even though if there is a site subsites, you can pass the subsite URL here. If there is a subsite, then you can pass the subsite URL. So here we have created the web. Using the web, I say list and get by title. I have passed the list name, which is the employee. Then get by ID is the 1, and I update the title with project Darwin, and list name dot update execute query, and our item has been updated. If there is error, then that error will get catch in Tailor. Okay, so let's run this, execute this. Before that, let me check the, going to the list. Here we have given the ID 9 1. I replace it with a 9 because there is a list atom with the ID 9. It will replace the title. Okay, so I execute it. So you try to understand that what I'm explaining here. First we create the context, then web, hierarchy wise we go web, then I create the list object through web, and using the list there is a list atom, and then we update the list atom, and execute query will implement the update operation. Now here run this script. So script is executing now. Atom does not exist, it may has been deleted by another user. Okay, execute query. So exception calling execute query, atom does not exist. So I have passed 9, id is 9, so item is there. Let me check. There is the employee list, employee 1 is also there. Let me check id for this column because there is another list. It's a simple, what I do, I will take work detail list for easy, because employee and employee internal and display name confusion is there. So I replace this. Okay, and title is every list with the title column, so then no need to worry about the other things. I remove the part. Okay, clear the console. Now we execute. I mean over detail. So 9 number atom is not exist, again we will get the error. So here I put the 8 number id, so that it will get atom by id. Here we are directly saying get atom by id. Work detail does not exist. So here list work detail does not exist a site with the url. It's saying that work is not exist in this site. Which one I have passed. Okay, so work details, how I have passed the names. I passed the names internal name. So work details, I put the space here. I pass the display name here. So here, okay, W and D capital. Save this, execute this. Atom updated. Reading data from, see, I think this is error from Excel file error. Import Excel is not recognized with the name of online function script file. Or let first we check the atom updated message we have received. So we just check that. Here you can see the project Darwin has been updated. So how we have implemented that? So first thing what we did, we create the context, then web object, and then we implement the things. Okay, so here one more important thing in update operation, we can see here I have directly passed the 8, but sometimes the requirement is like that. Consider someone will say that if uh, if work site is a Pune, okay, then how we can filter, or work site is a Pune and I want to update the work site Pune or any specific title or anything based on that, or the pending for manager, pending for site manager, status is the pending for site manager, then I want to update the title for those items. So here we are doing some filtration work. So how we can do means, here I need to filter the atom based on status. What I need to do, I need to filter the atom based on the status. So how we can update the list with based on the status? So let me check any blog related to that. So here list item operation using system in the folder update list item. In this here they pass the ID only. I'm checking something which is with a camel query. Okay, so what I do in next session, what I do, I'll take this take it. As of now, I need to prepare the camel query, and I'll explain you how we update the list item with the camel query. Means in that case, we'll get the filtered item. So we stop in this session.